And they're off to the races. Let's see. Are we live? Yes, we have a stream. Okay, a little bit of music to get us carried through till showtime.
Don't claim to know your story, don't even have my own. In the search for glory, gone with them sacred rules of old. They went missing down Highway 49. Devil's at the crossroads, sitting doing time. Preacher man discovered, passed down from saint to sage, like a kind-hearted lover who's been lost on this stage. Went missing down Highway 49. Devil's at the crossroads, sitting doing time. Not saying they're right or wrong. I ain't no Texan dancer, Lord knows where I belong. Went missing down Highway 49. Devil's at the crossroads, sitting doing time. Junkie and the chigger just seen who done the crime. Captain pulled the trigger. Who's doing time? They went missing down Highway 49. Devil's at the crossroads. Is he yours or is he mine? Don't claim to know your story, don't even have my own. In our search for glory, gone with them sacred rules of old. We're missing down Highway 49. Devil's at the crossroads, sitting doing time. Devil's at a crossroads, Joker's doing fine. Just sitting doing time.
All right. Couple more seconds till we go live completely. And welcome to the show, everyone who shows up. Greatly appreciate you taking the time out of your day. Remember, if you show up during those few minutes while we're playing some music here, you can always send me text messages, ask questions. I'll be happy to respond. I'm just making sure I've got all my audio and other ducks in a row. So without much further ado, let's go find the right screen and change this over and get it so it goes live. All right, it is noon. Time to wind this puppy up and get her going. It's episode 423, and I've got plugins for memberships, content submissions, post auditing, and ClassicPress options, all coming up on WordPress plugins from A to Z. WordPress. It's the most popular content management and website solution on the internet. And with over 80,000 plugins to choose from, how do you separate the junk from the gems? Join us for a weekly, unrehearsed conversation about the latest and greatest in WordPress plugins. This is WordPress plugins from A to Z. Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you happen to be hiding out there on the globe today. Coming to you direct from the Brewery Overlook in beautiful Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. I'm John Overall, and this is the WP Plugins A to Z podcast. And of course, right off the top, man, get out there, tell everyone about the show, hit them in the mouth, tell them you can get all the show notes over at WPPluginsA2Z.com. Subscribe and check out our newsletter and the other tidbits. With all of that little bit out of the way, sooner or later I'll get that nicely done. Let's jump right into the meat and potatoes of the show. Okay, I have the usual great set of plugins for you today. And of course, starting off, I have plugins that are submitted into me. I don't often get to use these and like to let you know they exist. And a lot of times the ratings are based on what I read on their websites, their descriptions, and demos if they've got them available. So the first one I've got for you here was sent in by Ahmad Fuad, and it is called Chimp. User Profile and Community Plugin. And this is a freemium plugin that you can get the free version over at over at WordPress.org. You can go check that out. Links are in the show notes for it. And this is a membership plugin, and it's a really nice looking membership plugin. From what I could tell from going through, checking it all out, it lets you create beautiful, high customizable user profiles. You can use it to build an online community. It features custom front-end registration, login, password resets. It's a pretty complete solution for an online. It's got a whole slew of things that are good for it. A front-end user profiles, custom email notifications, custom fields, SEO friendly, conditional nav menus, and more in it. Now, a little bit about what I have to say after checking this plugin out. And it was scheduled to be reviewed today when I also saw Ahmad's name pop up on Twitter via CodePotent. And I read the Twitter and I looked at it and said, that name's familiar. Why? And then when I looked in my notes, oh, of course, I actually scheduled to get this into my show and check it out. So, it's kind of interesting how things fall together sometimes. Let you know a little bit about this. This is a really nice, interesting, newer membership plugin. And while I might have chosen this plugin had I discovered it a few months back when I was building out a membership site, I didn't get a chance to go through the good testing of this simply because I don't have a membership site in the queue right now, and they take time to build out. And I'm not about to rip down a membership site and rebuild one up that's already fully functioning. But it is one I'm going to keep in mind when I build out the next one that comes down the pike. It does look pretty interesting, and it's something you will want to go check out. It does have a couple of pro add-ons that look to be a benefit for an active community, such as the notifications. You will want to have a look at this plugin if you are building out a membership site or upgrading a current one and you're tired of the membership plugin you're currently using. So make sure you go check this plugin out. It is called Chimp, and I give it a 4 dragon rating. So go check it out. Okay, a little bit of news and information from the WordPress world. What do we have right now? Of course, I'm trying to keep as much information as I can about security issues and other bits and pieces. This is an article from ThreatPost talking about several plugins that need updated and they're vulnerable. Make sure you go check out these links in the show notes for these articles and find out which plugins are susceptible and whether or not you're using them. So keep up to date with your plugins. Article from WP Tavern, this one here, in case you don't read the Tavern, which I'm pretty much sure everyone does, but it's always good to be refreshed. This is the top 50 WordPress new website ranks plugins. It's a top 50 WordPress plugins ranking from a new website who ranks the plugins by download per day. And it's kind of an interesting mix of plugins that have showed up in this list. When I was reading the article and reading the list on it, there's a few that show up in this list that you really wouldn't quite expect, because it's not just the popular, it's the downloads per day is how it ranks them. And that can vary from day to day depending on what people are doing. So go check this article out. Very interesting one to have a little bit more info on. Another article from WPMU Dev. This is an article about what they call the definitive free WordPress plugins list of 2019. Now, their definitive free is not always my definitive free plugins. You know, they have a few, like the ones I'm scrolling through now, such as Yoast SEO. The Google XML sitemaps is kind of none needed if you use Yoast, but if you don't use Yoast, it's good. The speed and optimization plugins, you know, they've got a couple there that are okay, and then of course I can't believe W3 Total Cache is still in the running for that stuff. Smush, with great plugin for smushing your images. I use that all over the place. Smart sliders, SCVG support, Defender. So it's a pretty good list of plugins. You'll want to go check this out. Some of them are useful, some of them so-so, but in the whole, not a bad deal. A little bit of news still for me. Plugin Dynamics getting closer and closer to fruition. The website is about 50% complete. Our primary plugin, Tabular Data Manager, Data Dynamics, is going to be beta released probably in the next 2 weeks, so keep a tab on that. If you want to play with the alpha version we've got going, please send me an email. I'll happily send it to you. We do have a date calculator, metric conversions, and a clock day resistance that are ready to rock and roll already. So make sure you go check those out. Well, you can't check them out yet, but send me an email. I'll be happy to forward you those plugins. But Plugin Dynamics is coming to life, and it will be at plugindynamics.com. Hey, and this show currently brought to you by... Are you tired of the same old web hosting? Not having the resources you need to run your website properly? Having a lack of control? Then you need johnoverall.com web hosting, providing you with all the resources you need to smoothly run your WordPress website or ClassicPress website. With strict limits on the number of clients allowed per server, johnoverall.com provides high-quality, fast server performance. Visit johnoverall.com for web hosting that won't slow you down. Absolutely. Come visit me for all your web hosting needs, WordPress needs, and if you get hacked, cracked, or anything like that, I specialize in fixing broken WordPress websites. And if you'd like to replace that ad with one of your own, please feel free to contact me. All right, we do have a contest running right now. Our contests are powered by the Simple Giveaways plugin, who kindly provided us with the premium plugin for all our contests, and their website still needs some help. Oh well. At any rate, it is a plugin right now. Our current contest is running until September 4th, and we are giving away a license for the Magic Conversation for Gravity Forms plugin. And this plugin is from the makers of WP Pay-Per-View. It's a really excellent looking plugin. I haven't had a chance to give it a good check myself, but it is a 1-year license for one site. You know, all you got to do is enter your name, email address, and you're entered to the contest. And if you share it out and people use your share link to share, you get even more additional entries into the contest. So make sure you go check that out. All right, and also if you want to hear more about it, I did a great interview with Russ Mate from WP Pay-Per-View talking about this plugin and the others that they make. So go check out the interview. The link is in the show notes. Okay, next up, what do I have for you here? All right. Next plugin I've got for you is called User Submitted Posts, and this is another freemium plugin, which I'm pretty sure about 90% of plugins are now freemium version, and I have no problem with that. If I get the premium version to examine and I actually get in digging to it, they can max out at a 5. If I'm playing with the free version of a freemium plugin, their max rating will ever be a 4. So User submitted post premium. This one here, if you're looking for a quick and easy way to allow your site visitors or members to add content to your site, this plugin may be something you're looking for. It's a bit easier to use than Gravity Forms. I use Gravity Forms for that, but only because I have a premium license for Gravity Forms. And it is a little bit more limited in some ways with what you can do. The free version has a couple more limitations, and one of the limitations in the free version of this plugin is you get one form, one shortcode that you can place all over your site. The form is modifiable. You can go into the settings, change it up and adjust it and change the layout and look a little bit of it. You'd have to do some extra CSS. Their premium version offers up the ability to use multiple forms, different types of forms with different shortcodes. What you do with it is you take the shortcode, you put it on a site. It allows people to upload images, posts, content that you are then created and held as drafts, or if you're crazy, you can have them publish automatically. I wouldn't do that because the spammers will find you and they'll inundate your site with all kinds of crap. But at any rate, it's a really nice, interesting, simple way to accept the content if you don't have something such as Gravity Forms for doing that work. Go check this one out. It's called User Submitted Posts, and I give it a 4-dragon rating. Okay, this show is supported by you, the producers, as a value for value model, meaning if you get any value out of it, then please give some value back by becoming a producer and helping the show out. You can do that by donating money to help out the show, submitting artwork. The artwork is something that I use every show I produce. I change out the artwork that goes out to iTunes, on the website, everywhere, and you just submit it to the WP Plugins art generator. You can submit articles, news, and information through the contacts page. You can submit plugin suggestions for reviews or anything else I haven't thought of. Please support the show. I like to acknowledge all the producers who support the show in various ways. And for donations $50 and over, they're credited with an executive producer credit in the show. And in the show notes, their note is read out on the show. For all those below $50, they remain anonymous, and thank you very much. Big thank you to all the producers who have those small amounts coming in regularly under $50. Thank you very much. Those subscriptions really help out the show a little bit. And for all the other producers, thank you for donating time and artwork. And a big thank you to those who have hired me because of the show. Thank you. That is as good as donating to the show. Okay, next plugin I've got for you here is called Content Audit. Now, this is an interesting plugin. I was at first really super excited about it because I thought it was a little more automated than it is. But it still works fairly decently because, of course, I've mentioned it a few times. WP Plugins A to Z website is undergoing renovations. It's about 80% complete. It's been converted over to a ClassicPress website, and it's running quite beautifully. And there's more to come with it. But I wanted to audit my content. I've got content on the website going back for 6, 7, 8 years now. And I was looking for something a little more automated, but this one here will still allow me to do a site audit on things and mark things that are older than X amount of time. But it allows you also to go in and run a manual audit of your content. Every time you hit a page, you get a link in the menu, the admin menu at the top. You can make the content outdated, review it for SEO, redundant, style. You can add your own categories to make it more granular if you need to. As you visit pages, you just mark them for further action, and then you manage them yourself, or if you've got people that help you out, you can delegate those tasks to them or to their login for your website so that they log in, they get notification, hey, this needs reviewed for this particular purpose. Really a nice little plugin here. And all in all, something you really want to check out. It does work great in ClassicPress because I've loaded it into my WP Plugins A to Z revamp and have started marking content for revamping. Check this one out, Content Audit, and I give it a 4-dragon rating. Okay, and I missed a comment from earlier, so I'll double back to that real quick before I head on to ClassicPress options. We got a comment here from Delte E. Hawks, and that was, can member Chimp be integrated with BBPress? I don't know, and that was a question I had myself, and because I'm actually getting ready to work on a major BBPress project. So we'll have to ask the developer of it and Fahad there and see what he has to say. Hopefully he's checking out the show because he knows where he's being reviewed today. So there's a question for you, Fahad. You get me the answer, I'll get it back out onto the show for everyone. Ahmad, sorry. Me and my names. Okay, so ClassicPress options. Let's talk about ClassicPress options. And ClassicPress is a growing concern. I like it. It's a fantastic community, lots of great people, and I notice more things are starting to grow again on them. ClassicPress itself, you can find out a little bit more about ClassicPress. I did an interview with James Nyland and Michelle Coe from ClassicPress, two of the leads for the ClassicPress team. And it's a really great interview. The link is in the show notes to it, so go check that out. ClassicPress is now 1 year old and still moving forward, and people are developing more and more stuff from it. So what do I have this week for it? Got an article here from Code Potent, and this is an article that he wrote out about resolving plugin contents without deactivating all of your ClassicPress plugins. And it's a really great article. It's got some really great tips about how you deal with plugin conflicts or issues without having to deactivate the entire mess. Some of the stuff that he mentions in there is things I already do when I'm debugging, but you'll want to go read this article over and check it out. And for ClassicPress information, make sure you follow Code Potent. He's got a lot of stuff and he's continually churning out new stuff. Another article I have out this week is one from Sean DeWolf, and this one here is an article on ClassicPress or WordPress to ClassicPress conversions, a do-it-yourself conversion process. And he goes through the conversion process, so go check out his article there. Okay, a couple of little tips on ClassicPress. Code Potent's plugin directory has soft launch. There's a link in my show notes to it, so you'll want to go check that one out. And I do have a ClassicPress plugin this week, and that is because I noticed that the dedicated list over at the ClassicPress Forums has grown, and we'll come back around to that one in a minute. So what do I have this week? I have one called CP Compatibility. And this is a really nice one. I loaded it up into my WP plugins site for checking out. And this one here adds under the tools menu, it adds a listing that marks the plugins compatible with WordPress version or not. It's a list of the known plugins from the top 200 that are available for WordPress. It tells you whether or not they're compatible with ClassicPress. So make sure you go check this out. It's a really great plugin. If you're converting to ClassicPress, you'll want to toss this in there just to have a good look at it. It's a really simple, easy plugin, straightforward. You got to download it from GitHub and then upload it manually, unfortunately. I'm looking forward to the day when ClassicPress releases their own repository, which I'm sure they will do. So at any rate, I give this plugin CP Compatibility, I give it a 4-dragon rating. And a couple of the resources. So if you're looking for ClassicPress specific plugins, follow the link in the show notes, takes you to the forums. There was 37 in there. There's now 42. So the plugins is starting to grow. Even if it is just a few plugins at a time, this is pretty much the same way WordPress started. So hey, stay tuned. ClassicPress is going to suddenly jump by leaps and bounds. All it takes is the right people to adopt it. So anyway, go check that out for other areas. Check out their forums. If you're looking for other news and information, you can check out the ClassicPress Club. And that's pretty much all I got in that area there. Okay, well, that wraps everything up this week. And closing out this episode, plugins I covered was Member Chimp, which I gave a 4 to. User Submitted Post, which I gave a 4 to. Content Audit, which I gave a 4 to. And then the CP Compatibility, which I gave a 4 too. Make sure you go check out those plugins, and that's pretty much everything I've got here, except for a couple of quick reminders. The next WordPress meetup in Victoria will be September 24th, and it is in Victoria. It'll be broadcast live on YouTube for those of you who can't make the show. Location information, go check out wppluginsa2z.com/meetup. If you have suggestions on plugins you want to be reviewed, please submit them to the show, wppluginsa2z.com/plugin review. That's pretty much all I got for you, so we're going to let my girl take us on out of here. And if you want to hang out after the show, feel free to ask me questions starting now.
Reminders for the show. All show notes can be found at wppluginsa2z.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the newsletter for more useful information delivered directly to your inbox. WP Plugins A to Z is a show that offers honest and unbiased reviews of plugins created by developers because you support the show. Help keep the show honest and unbiased by going to wppluginsa2z.com/donate and set the donation level that fits your budget. Help us make the show better for you by subscribing and reviewing the show at Stitcher Radio, Google Play, and in the iTunes Store. You can also leave us a review on our Facebook page using wppluginsa2z.com/Facebook. You can also watch the show live on YouTube, check out the screencasts and training videos, and remember to subscribe and hit the bell to get notifications of all new videos. Follow the show on Twitter at WPPluginsA2Z. John can also be reached at his website, johnoverall.com, or email him directly, john@wppro.ca. Thanks for joining us, and have a great day.
Thanks for listening to the show. This show is copyright by johnoverall.com. So until next time, have yourselves a good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you happen to be out there on the globe today.
There we have it. Well, thanks, Code Potent. I greatly appreciate it, and I have no problem with the mentions. I just wish I could find more information on ClassicPress, and I'm looking forward to more developers contributing more stuff. I'm still looking at how I'm going to add to my brand in the new iteration of the WP Plugins A to Z website. We're still working with my marketing manager to see how that's going to fare. But it is going to be interesting. As we say, shall you live in interesting times? What is that? I don't even have that saying down right. But at any rate, thanks everyone for showing up. I greatly appreciate it. And I hope we get some information back from Ahmed Fouad. As I messed up his name brutally. I am so sorry about that, but I'm getting better. I really am. So hopefully he gets back to me for Delatei Hawks. Confusing names. Tough ones. But it'll be fun. That baby at the end of the show is my 12-year-old son now. He was 2 or 3 when I started my show. I was practicing with my microphone, setting things up, and he was toddling around. He came over, grabbed the microphone, and I happened to be recording when he did that, and I said, that is going to live forever. So that is my oldest son who did that. So yeah, that's the end of all of my shows now. You have 2 or 3, somewhere around there. All right. Oh, yeah. He always gets a kick out of it now. Well, sometimes he does. Depends on whether or not he's paying attention. He's over there at the computer across the room playing his video games. All right, well, that's it. I'm going to be wrapping it up. You all have a good one, and we will catch you all next week. Feel free to reach out to me through the WP Plugins A to Z website or John at wppro.ca with any questions or advice. Always asking for it. That's all we got now. Take care. Bye-bye.